Welcome back to Sports Prophecy TV, guys, and I'm your host, Jay Taylor. And tonight, it's Saturday night, and we're going to be talking football like we usually do. And as you know, it has just been reported that Jamaica will be playing against Qatar and Jordan in two upcoming friendlies. Tonight, I'm going to give you my thoughts and my prediction and potentially how this might end up. Some of the fans has made their opinions clear where we disagree on whether or not these friendlies are healthy for Jamaica. I think the fans are a bit split when it comes on to some of the fans. Most of the fans are saying that the game is a good friendly. However, I'm going to give my take on whether or not that I think this is a good friendly. I think Properties of Jamaica too. He disagree with me in the comment section respectfully, and may have mad respect for that. All right, my take on these two friendlies. We're gonna take it with me sip a little Campari tonight, guys. Just buy some Campari today. So tonight we're gonna be talking football, and we're going to get everyone's opinion. Sean Base, big up yourself. Just did my first video on Suriname. I'm going to drop that. That's very interesting. What Suriname needs to do to get better, actually. Um, yes, so Jamaica Reggae Boys will be playing against the ice cream squad out of the Middle East, which is Qatar and Jordan. I think these two opponents are very weak. I think these two opponents won't give Jamaica the challenge that we need to win the Gold Cup. And hear me out before the comments start flying in like JT, yo, you two ungrateful. We never have no game. And now you say, this is what I'm saying. I think we should have had one strong team, play against one strong team, and play against a weak team. It can't be you're playing against two weak teams where you don't actually know where you are if you beat these two teams. No, so I would have thought that Jamaica potentially would have played maybe a weaker team. Let's say we play Qatar first, and then the next opponent would be a stronger opponent who would then test Jamaica to see if we learned anything from the Qatar game or we have progressed. But playing two weak teams, I don't think it does us much. It does that anything for us really. And let's touch on the passport issue. So, based on the closeness of these games to the Gold Cup, it's safe to say that we won't be seeing any of the English-based players without a passport in this game. Because if you look at the turnover time, the games are on the 15th and the 19th. Jamaica plays on the 24th. So let's say Jamaica leaves Europe on the 20th, the day after the game. They get to the United States on the 20th. Jamaica also then has to get a day of recovery where they do a slight little light walkthrough or just a little light training. So that's now the 22nd, that's now the 21st. And the game is on the 24th. So follow me. So then Jamaica only have 2 days of actual full training before the game against the United States. So I'm thinking that the game against Qatar, unless we're going to have players very early in camp, if we're going to have these games against Qatar, I'm guessing that we need to have the players in camp at least 5 days before, because even between two games, we only have 3 training sessions between the two games, and one of those days are recovery, because when we play Qatar on the 15th, we have to recover on the 16th, and then the 17th and 18th we have a training session, and we play on the 19th again, and then Jamaica flies on the 20th, the light training on the 21st, then the 22nd we get back into full training the 23rd, and we have a game on the 24th. So it also seems that the JFF has gotten their way with choosing the international friendly so close to the Gold Cup. Because if you look at it, it's not the scheduling. It's very strange. It's not a big turnover time. I would have thought that we would have played the friendlies and then potentially have 6 or 7 days in camp to fine tune everything that Jamaica needs to fine tune for those games. Because now Jamaica will only have 2 days to fine tune everything. Best of Owen. Jamaica will only have 2 days to fine tune everything when it comes on to these games. So I think the scheduling is a bit weird. And I'm also quite disappointed in the fact that if the games were earlier, we would have then potentially saw players who are on the, say, the fringe of getting their passport, and we take a look at them and then the Gold Cup squad. But based on the scheduling of these two friendlies, it's safe to say that any squad that goes to this tournament is our Gold Cup squad, because there is not enough time to chop and change. So the squad that's named to go to this tournament will be our Gold Cup squad, because when Jamaica comes back from that tournament, they only have 3 days to get into the Gold Cup. So the squad that leaves to Austria will be the Gold Cup squad. If you check the scheduling, it's just common sense. So unless the coach has got confirmation, so it's safe to say that we won't see a Reese Nelson. We probably won't see a Johnson Clark Harris, and we won't see some of those other players that maybe we need to take a look at. Potentially, the only player we're gonna see is a Demarai Gray, which in a way it's okay, because Demarai Gray is one of the most, I would say, the player who is the most ready to go at the international level. Now, let's look at Qatar as an opponent. Qatar was building up their program where they kept the same group of players for about 4 or 5 years to develop a level of consistency, as they're a small country and they don't have a wealth of talent. The coach got the team up to a certain level where they look like a formidable opponent. But when they went to the World Cup, they looked abysmal, bro. They didn't look that good. They didn't look that good. They look weak defensively. They just look unorganized. They look like they weren't supposed to be at the big tournament. To be honest, I don't think Qatar probably will ever get to a World Cup unless the World Cup is in Qatar. Qatar is just not the region that Qatar is in. They're not going to be beating at Egypt. They're that no well Egypt. I think Egypt is playing in the African. They're not going to be beating the Israelis and those other teams to get out of probably the Middle East. And they're ranked 61st, and Jamaica is ranked number 63. So some would say that we can't really complain, because Jamaica isn't ranked that high anyways. But if you look at the little red dot right next to the Qatari, that tells you they're going in the opposite direction. If you look at Jamaica, there's a green arrow next to Jamaica that shows that Jamaica is trending in the right direction. The funny thing is, the three teams from 61 to 64, Coach Heimar Hallgrimsson has had some kind of relations with this team. There's Iceland, that he was previously the coach, which is one spot behind Jamaica. That is so interesting. And then there's Qatar, who is 2 spots before Jamaica, where the coach also had something to do with. So it's very interesting. It's also safe to say that the coach probably used his connections to get these friendly internationals with Qatar. JD says, but Jamaica never made the tournament and never looked well in the qualifiers. That's true, JD, but Jamaica never hosted the World Cup. So if Qatar didn't host that World Cup, I don't think there's any way that Qatar gets into any major tournament. they even got into the Gold Cup via the invitation route due to the fact that I think there's something happening there where they want to get the Qatarians to develop in football. But based on what I'm looking at here, I would have thought that we should have got one tough team. If we're playing in Europe, try to get a European team, at least one tough team, and balance things out. Where we're playing against a okay opponent like Qatar, and then we play against a tougher team just to sharpen up before that United States game. Because that United States game, bro, I don't think Qatar prepares us for that United States game. Because what's Jamaica will push Qatar around when it comes to physicality. Qatar reminds me a little bit of, it's probably the games are going to go something like those Saudi Arabia games that Jamaica played, where we went to Saudi Arabia. And though Jamaica wasn't that good, we still happened to beat them in the second game, though they won the first game. And Saudi Arabia is a way more physical team. They look more dangerous in the World Cup. Even Saudi Arabia at this point would have been a more formidable opponent than Qatar. JD says Qatar actually defeated and drew teams in CONCACAF region that Jamaicans struggle with, losing to Panama. Well, Panama has been that Achilles heel to when it comes on to Jamaica and the CONCACAF region. But I think on this go around, Jamaica will be more prepared to take on a team like Panama. Now, if you look at the points that Qatar has been dropping, Qatar just dropped 4.95 points in the FIFA ranking, JD. So that also tells you that they're going in the opposite direction, while Jamaica gained 2.58 points, trending up in the right direction. If you look at the teams in this area, they're right behind Ghana. I don't think the FIFA ranking really explains really how good Ghana is. I think Ghana is just a team that hasn't got it together lately, but we know the wealth of talent they have in Ghana. No, I don't expect Qatar to be this lucky either in this go around of the CONCACAF Gold Cup. I think they were very lucky in the fact that the last Gold Cup, their players were together for a long time, and they came in with a new style of play that a lot of the CONCACAF teams didn't really grasp the Qatarian style of play right away. So teams matched up against them and they got a lot of opportunities. They tend to seem to want to play free-flowing football. But that didn't work in the World Cup, as this shows that physicality does damper free flowing football, because if you're getting pushed around, you actually can't get enough time on the ball. And I think that's what will happen to Qatar in this Jamaica game. And I think that's what will happen to Qatar in the Gold Cup, as a lot of teams would have seen the Qatarians play in the Gold Cup, in the World Cup, and notice that if you're physical against them, you basically neutralize them and they just fold. So I don't expect them to put up a big fight in the Gold Cup like they did previously, due to their, I thought it was that new factor that they had. They got some good results in the last Gold Cup, but I don't expect that. I don't expect that this go around. I thought that we still need to hear from the coach. That's why I made a video the other day and said, where is the coach? No, the coach is the coach waiting to come out when the squad comes out, because I want to know if Coach Jaime Hallgrimson is happy with the scheduling of these two games. Let me know in the comment section, guys. Don't you think the scheduling of these two games are a bit too close to the tournament? How can you have two games with a 3-day turnaround before you play the United States? That is a bit strange. I'm not buying that. we max it football say Qatar will push whatever Jamaica team. It's not going to be easy for Jamaica in none of the matches. I would be impressed if Jamaica comes out of both games winning and looking dominant. I don't expect Jamaica to be dominant. I expect Jamaica to score goals on Qatar that they allow based on Qatar not being able to defend properly or not being strong enough in defense. So now it's also fair to say that based on the scheduling. I keep hitting on the scheduling, guys. There will be only 3 days turnaround after these two games for Jamaica to play the United States. No, there is also a plus side to that. The plus to that is that Jamaica will basically have games under their belt. Bless up yourself, Jamaica Guna. Jamaica will have games under their belt for the Qatari game, but the 3 days turnaround for me, with a long flight from Europe, because from Austria to New York to wherever Jamaica is playing, that's going to be like a 13-hour flight, like 10 to the US, 10, 11, and another 2 hours to where they're flying to. Then the Jamaican players have to get settled into the hotel. And then the next day they have a light training, and then they have two more trainings before the United States game. You know what I mean? So it's going to be a very tricky one. But JD thinks that Jamaica might not come out on top in these two games. I think I'm very confident that Jamaica, whatever team Jamaica puts out there, Jamaica should come out on top against Qatar and Jordan. Jordan is not, as I said, these two teams are softer than ice cream on a hot summer day. They're not built for this kind of football. They're more into that light hybrid style of football. The last time we saw Jamaica against Mexico, they look robust as far as physicality is concerned, and that was without a Mikel Antonio. I don't know which Qatarian defender is gonna be closing down Mikel Antonio. I don't know which Qatarian defender is going to be closing down Mikel Antonio, because even today I went back and look at some of the Qatarian games, and their defenders they just get bodied around a lot. They get bodied around a lot. Especially, you don't want a Corey Burke or a Mikel Antonio on the park at the same time. That would be a nightmare for the Qatarians. I promise you. And it's not very often that I give Jamaica the biggest upper hand when it comes on to friendly games. Let's hear what gangs talk in Jamaica, boy. I hope these gangster what? Something is talking Jamaican boy. I hope these will be the only new players for those two game local games overseas. No more see Jamaica team. Let me say Guna said no more see Jamaica team of JPL player versus Qatar. Bossing you. No, Guna, there's that the team that gets selected for the Qatar game, as I said, is gonna be our Gold Cup team. It's going to be our Gold Cup team because it's only 3 days turnaround. There's no way the coach can bring a team to Europe to play against these two teams when you're preparing for a tournament and you bring players who don't have a passport and players you're looking at who you're not sure is in the squad. So I think the team that takes that flight to Austria is our Gold Cup team. And we can also start marking off names. We can say our starting 11 that started against Mexico is a sure bet. Properties for sale in Jamaica say, well, to be fair, I do remember that we tied Qatar with a local based team, if I'm remembering correctly. So that makes me a little more confident. We might be able to comfortably beat them. So the team, fun and joke aside, it has to be the Gold Cup Vision players. Yeah, it has to be the Gold Cup players, Guna. No, there's no other way because, as I said, Jamaica plays Qatar on the 15th. They play Jordan on the 19th. So they fly out probably on the 20th. They get back to the United States on the 20th and get to where they and players after that long flight from Europe. It's gonna be like a walkthrough light training on the 21st. No, the 22nd is when Jamaica should get into full-fledged training session on the 21st. And then the no, that's the 20, yeah, the 22nd is when Jamaica should get back into full-fledged action. And then the 23rd, there should be, we're strategizing for the United States game. And then we have the game on the 24th. So the fact that it came out and there was an article that the coach had a disagreement with the JFF about the scheduling, I'm just wondering here if the coach really wanted the scheduling to be this tight, because this scheduling is very tight, guys. This scheduling is very tight. It's a very tight schedule for a team that's flying all the way from Europe into the United States. So I think Jamaica should beat Qatar at least by 2 goals. I see Jamaica beating Qatar by 2 clear goals. If Qatar scores one, Jamaica should get 3 goals against Qatar. There's no reason why Jamaica shouldn't build. Remember, didn't Jamaica just draw with Mexico? Qatar is nowhere in Mexico's league. Jamaica just went down to the Azteca and drew with Mexico without our full squad, with Ravel Morrissey and Daniel Johnson playing box to box CDM attacking midfield role. I don't know what they were playing. But if you look at it, Jamaica, I'm gonna give Jamaica some credit. I'm harping on the fact that the friendlies are weak. I think that we should have played one strong team and one weak team, a Qatar and maybe a strong European team that would try to get us grinding for the game against the United States. No, let's give Jamaica some credit. Jamaica did go down to Mexico and took the lead twice in a game against Mexico. Mexico is the #1 team in CONCACAF, and Qatar is not seeing Mexico anytime soon. Let's hear what JD has to say here. We tied with Qatar with a mixture of players and a mixture of Qatar players. We got destroyed by a Morocco team that no one made it to the World Cup other than Jabrin but Morocco, well, JD, me see what you do this, you know, JD, me see what you do this. So that was very tricky of you. JD made sure he outlined that the Moroccan team that beat Jamaica wasn't necessarily the Moroccan team that did so well in the World Cup. However, JD, they had the same coach. Some of those players made the bench for the Moroccan team, and some of those same players were pushing the other starters on the Moroccan team for starting position and position spots in the squad. So Morocco has a good program going. So I wouldn't say, if you look at even the team that Jamaica used against Morocco, that was a pickup team. I think we used Jardine Fletcher and then Monday to play striker. So we have to give Jamaica some credit. I think this go around, Jamaica is more than ready to stamp in the face of the Qatarians. I strongly believe that. Brian Martin said JFF needs to make money. The coach needs to win games. A thin line between both. Okay, all right, understandable as well. I think the coach probably wants a few wins under his belt going into the Gold Cup, because I can understand that he has had a tough start because of the opponents that he has been dealt coming in as the Jamaican head coach. He has had a tough start. He started out with Argentina, for God's sakes, the number one. He basically started his coaching job for Jamaica against the number one team in the world. He started his job against it. It's like a man say, yo, you start the track and field, and a man say, tomorrow you have a race against Usain Bolt. And after you run left, after you done race Usain Bolt, next week, you race the next brother, the Gatlin from America here. And then man they race. You see me? So he did have a really tough task starting out the job for Jamaica. Big up yourself, Kevin Reed. And remember to hit the like button as you come in, guys. Because you know we don't love him kill the show and talking about the like button. So just hit the like button so we don't have to talk about it. Jamaica going and say, I think it's scheduled this way to be real practice games in a fine tune, as in a fine tune the actual Gold Cup squad. Okay. So Guna is saying it's more or less a fine tune type of scheduling based on what he's seeing. Don't think we have earned the right to call either of them weak, but I do think Jamaica should be slightly favored to beat both teams. Slightly favored, brother. Come on, properties at Jamaica. This is one tournament where Jamaica is going into where we have to just say, yo, Jamaica better than them two team, my brother. You see me? I say we beat the Reggae boys them all the time, including myself. But these games, we should be saying as Reggae Boys fans, based on what we saw against Argentina, based on what we saw against Mexico previously, I think this is the time where we should say Jamaica is going into these games as strong favorite, very strong favorite. None of them players that made Morocco World Cup team other than Jabrian. All right, JD came out with some stats there. Jamaica should beat both teams easily. And I totally agree. Middle East teams typically only play well in their place, as in 1,000 degrees and the sand. Exactly. I can't see Jamaica really slipping up against these two teams. And Jamaican players are the players will be just coming out a season. They probably get that week off, 2 weeks where they go chill. You know, you go to Dubai or you go to Canary Islands. And you go to them places, Cyprus, Greece. You lay out with the family. Drink a few martinis and go out on the yacht and some white tablecloth dinners, and the players them are gonna get oiled up and ready. So I think Jamaica should be in a good place for this game. Brian Martin said, don't know about beating Qatar though. Also, we have quite a few new faces in the team. I think the games are relevant based on where we are bringing in new faces before the tournament, typically Jamaica. But who are the new faces? Let's say the players who won't be going is players like Javante Stewart from the JPL who went to Mexico. I don't think he will be going. And the midfielder Phillips, he won't be going. So in this Jamaican team, unless they start really chopping and changing, maybe Kahim Paris would be on the line. Based on this, it's also safe to say we won't see a Ronaldo Cephas. We won't see a Ronaldo Cephas will not be getting called up for this game. And my reason is if the friendlies were a bit earlier, where the coach would have then look at a bunch of players and then try to fine tune the team itself, then we maybe could have seen a Ronaldo Cephas getting that call up to see what he looks like in those games, and then he potentially would be in the Gold Cup squad. Reese Nelson, we won't be seeing a Reese Nelson. He won't have a passport. He won't be ready in time for this Gold Cup. So there's no reason to take him. So we won't see a Reese Nelson. Johnson Clark Harris. I don't think we'll see a Johnson Clark Harris. We won't see any of those English-based players that a lot of fans been talking about. It's a good chance we might see a Michael Hector coming back, though. However, I think this is lining up to when I'm looking at the defensive side of the football for Jamaica. It looks like it's a potential call up now for Michael Hector. If you look on where our local defenders are currently in their development, I can't see the coach going for a Jamai Topi. I can't see that happen. I don't even think a Richard King might get a call up for this game. I'm doubting that Richard King will get a call up for this game. It's very unlikely that Richard King, but maybe Richard King gets a good report from the coaches in Iceland, and then that's being related to Coach Jaimier, and then he might get into the team. Let's see what Mr. United. Bless up yourself, Mr. United, on the Saturday night. I can't see Jamaica playing their strongest team in the second game, considering the difference and the flight time. Mr. United, I think Jamaica don't have the luxury of not playing their strongest team. I don't think Jamaica is at a place where we can say we don't play our strongest team anytime right now. To be honest, Mr. United, Jamaica don't know their strongest team. We know a set of core players that has been playing, who played in the Mexico game. Because if you look at from the Argentina game to the Mexico game, the core players really only had those two games where the coach really could look at his core players. So at the end of the day, we don't really know our strongest team, to be honest. We know a bulk of our core players, but I don't think we know our strongest team at the moment. Jamaican Guna say, hoping the coach call a super strong squad. Still, if I see one JPL player in them, me know the coach a joker. Yo, John, we take a sip of Campari in a night, man. Yeah, I think there might be a JPL player in there. I just don't know who it would be. Guna, Brian Martin, you're the on the live. Let me know. Let me know, Brian Martin. Jump on the chat, jump on the stream. Let me know, is there any local player that you saw in the JPL? I know Cavaliers just, I think they're one up on Dumble Holding. Let me know if there's any local players you're seeing right now in the JPL that has made a statement since the Mexico match, or put their hand up for basically getting a call up for this tournament. I'm not really sure if there's any standout name that I hear any buzz around coming out of Jamaica. Recently in the YouTube space, it's mostly the buzz around the English-based players that we want to get called up. So I haven't heard any real buzz around any Jamaican players coming out. No. Big up yourself, Stefan. Say not one, JT. Trust me, not one. All right. Big up yourself, Brian. Pull up in the mansion tonight on a Saturday night. Bless it. I'm gonna get my headphone.
Yo, what go on, fam?
1 second, Brian.
Yo,
One
can you
second,
hear
the
me?
people. Whenever I have my headphones plugged in. But yeah, I don't really know any players in the JPL that I've heard of that's been buzzing lately. So it's almost safe to say that it's going to be probably USL player, MLS. It's gonna be MLS and the players that we already have. All right, all right, all right. Got my headphone here. All right, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Brian?
Yeah,
Can you
man, I
hear
can
me?
hear you. You can hear Yeah, man, you can
Yeah,
hear
man, I can
me?
hear you clear. Yeah, man. So just give me the temperature on the ground in Jamaica right now. Anybody buzzing out of the JPL for you? We put their hand up for the tournament.
To be honest, I mean, well, yes, since the Mexico game.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I've seen anyone who, have performed exceptionally well since the Mexico game that would have probably forced their way into the team. But I think um I don't even know.
Sound tough.
Maybe I would say probably they would the coach may still persist with Trevante Stewart, but I don't know. I don't think
Okay.
don't think there's anyone outside of him. He hasn't played a lot since he's been back from Mexico though.
Okay.
Because I guess they have a rotation policy at his club. They have a lot of strikers who they just brought in because Jordan Fletcher is back there as well. His contract was in India ended or was terminated. I don't know, but he's not in India. He's back at Mount Pleasant.
Yeah.
And they also brought in Bygrave too, who I guess they wanted to give some play time. So he hasn't played a lot. I think he's only played about 2 games since he's been back, and he
Yeah.
scored once. So
Okay.
um,
Okay.
yeah, outside of him, maybe at a at a glance, you probably could say the goalkeeper from Waterhouse, Kemar Foster,
Yeah.
may get a look in. I mean, depending on what happened in the goalkeeping department, I know Blake will be there. I'm optimistic that Kanaya Boyz Clark will be there, and you have Jamali Wade. So I don't even see it happening for him except one of those players are not available. But
Okay.
by and large, I think the contingent will be overseas players. As it relates to MLS, um, I haven't watched a lot of the MLS in terms of I've tried. Well, I've watched players who are in and around the Jamaica setup. I think outside of the usual suspects like Damian Lowe and Andre Blake, you probably could see maybe a Javine Brown or a Kimar Lawrence. I think they have been playing consistently for their clubs. Um,
Oh God. No, you call Javier Brown. So let me just segue 1 second there. Because we're gonna segue over into the what you call it the MLS. Jamaica Guna, based on the league, say your favorite league in the world, the JPL. Anybody buzzing in the JPL for you? What you think has like put their hand up saying we need to get a call up for this Gold Cup squad? Because the squad that goes into this tournament will be the Gold Cup squad. You see anybody in the local game Guna where you that put on a plane?
Well, blessed day, J Taylor, and the guest as well, and all of the family in the chat. I mean, good afternoon, good night, good morning, anywhere at all, night, where you're there right now. My view is this: as a avid supporter of the JPL and wanting all these tremendous talents to get their shine on the global stage. Um, the only person that stands out to me, who I think can make the squad in their position, is Foster from our house, the goalkeeper. I think he's a very good goalkeeper. He's gotten looking already in the national setup.
Yeah.
So I think he can make the squad. Or if he makes the squad, I wouldn't be surprised. But me still personally, I don't believe that no JPL left in at the World Cup
Yeah,
squad.
bring
I think
Topi.
who
Yeah, bring Jamal Topi.
as that centre half.
Yeah.
No, no. Why Topi is not half in the JPL right now.
Okay. Oh, he's not a center half.
Um, yeah, he's a centre half, but I'm saying he's not the best in the JPL right now. If you're going to take somebody from the JPL, they must be the best in their position.
Okay.
We have deficiencies at right back. We have, well, if the coach chooses to, because I think Wes Harding should be in the squad. And then we have Lambakisa at left back. We have Lee We have if he's not injured, where are them
we have
injured?
Amari Bell at left
And we
back,
have Bell, of course.
Lambekisa at right back.
No, Bell plays left back
Yeah,
primarily.
and Lambekisa play right back, right?
Yeah, right back. But Lambert can play both still. I think he's better at right back.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
but we have a deficiency at the right back, in my opinion, because I don't think Javier Brown has showered himself in glory in the last games that he has represented us. At centre half, I think that the centre half that we have maybe possibly pick itself. I think we may have. I think the coach is going to bring in somebody new there, from one of the professional leagues. So Rupert Agadede and Lo Agadede. And I'm hoping that we can see, two. Maybe we can bring in 572-year-old Maps. I think Wayne there as well. He is due, as you give him a shout out earlier on in the convo. I think he's due a recall.
Michael Hector.
Hector. Yeah,
I
Hector.
think this is it. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's prime
I
for
think
that.
he's due a recall now. I think he should have been there, because I don't think King is a better defender than he is, and I don't think Topi is a better defender than he is. So when Jamaica is calling a squad, my opinion is that we should call the best player available in their position. Now, if that position in particular, like in the case of a Cephas, is overcrowded because we have so much quality on the right flank, then you can understand that. Because in my opinion, Cephas there, we have Bailey there, we have Bobby Reed there, we have my boy name again, Paris there. So we have a lot of quality on the right hand side. On the left hand side, we also have this, we have similar thing. We have Jamal Low, and we have players that are playing week in, week out in high leagues we can call up. So I think we have a deficiency, in my opinion, at right back and maybe at centre half. So if any space is going to open up, I think that would be it. But I don't think any JPL player is doing so great in their position that they should be included in the squad at the expense of somebody who's playing in a higher league and a better player.
And I have something to say, people. Will Omari Hutchinson dodge the call up this time? Will Omari Hutchinson be there this time? And guys, as I said, I don't expect to see a Reese Nelson. I don't expect to see a Rico Henry or a Johnson Clark Harris. Because when you look at the schedule, Jamaica plays on the 15th and the 19th. As I said, they potentially fly back to the US on the 20th, do a light training session on the 21st. The 22nd, they get into full training. And the 23rd, you're prepping for the game the next day. So it's no longer a situation where the coach have the luxury of looking at players before the Gold Cup and then pick a Gold Cup squad. What do you think about that, Brian?
I think, as it relates to those players, I wouldn't say that the schedule will be a factor in terms of them, because I think it's a lot different, when you have professional players. Oftentimes you can.
What about the passport?
Oh, well, I don't know what's the passport situation of these players, So that's why
It's
I
still
don't
that
know
passport issue.
Yeah, I don't know what situation. I don't know who apply. I don't know who don't apply. I don't know what's the issue with them in terms of passport. Because the federation is not going to come out and say player A have a passport or player B is in the process. So I don't know who have a passport, but I would like to think if the players have passport and are available, I don't think the schedule might be a problem, because, as I said, sometimes it's a lot easier for you to fit in professional players into a system and get them to do what you want them to do or to perform at a particular level, as opposed to players who are not at a professional level. Because when you get a fully professional player, you don't have to be concerned about him fitness or
yeah.
willingness to follow or understand instructions or to understand systems or how to operate in different systems. And professional players are normally a lot easier to fit into and build chemistries and stuff. So I don't think it will be a problem. But as we were talking earlier about the players and their positions and stuff, like I said, I don't think outside of a goalkeeper, you will see any player from the local Premier League being involved or attack plans, maybe Trevante Stewart, because as I said, he was in the squad going to Mexico. So, at worst case, I would say you would see him back being around. As it relates to Javane Brown, I will agree that he hasn't showed himself in glory in his last couple of games, and on other occasions too, he hasn't been the best player
in the last couple of years.
But I think I don't agree with that. But I think he's been one of the players who are playing consistent in his club in a relatively good league. I don't think a player who is playing week in week out in his club will be overlooked. Especially when you don't have a plethora of players available in that position. I mean, maybe if he was in a similar position like Cephas or those other players, then yeah, you could say it without a shadow of a doubt that he'll be overlooked.
Yeah, take taxi. Yeah, take taxi over Greg Lee.
It's kind of difficult in a sense because I think Greg Lee has struggled with injury throughout the season and has not played a lot of games compared to, well, I wouldn't really compare it to Taxi because Taxi competition started long after. But he's been playing consistently. I think Taxi has had more starts than him this season. But it's a toss-up. If you bring Taxi, I'm good. If you bring Greg Lee, I'm okay.
What about you, Jamaica Guna? You're bringing Taxi over Greg Lee?
Neither of them will start over Amari Bell.
Yeah, for depth.
Greg Lee or Taxi is a very touchy one. Is a very, as I said, I don't know if Lee is he had injury last time we had a game. He had injury issues. But if they're both fit, even though Taxi may be playing more often and more consistently, if they're both fit, I think I'm bringing Greggy over Taxi because I like what he offers. The last game that Taxi played, he didn't show himself in glory either. I didn't like how he performed in that game. He seemed as if he was past it. He's still a quality player, and you know that he's historical, one of Jamaica's best players. So we have to give him his credit, give him flowers for what he has done. But I don't think he's the future moving. I don't think he's it moving forward. I think we have better players in this position. So if those players are available, I would bring those players. But Bell is on fire, so I think he's the number one. Yeah, I think he's the number one.
And I'm just gonna be throwing out players to you guys. And so while we're on, and I'll move on after that to Brian. You're taking a Corey Burke. How is the striking position looking? Because I still think there's a question mark there. Outside of Mikel Antonio, for me, Brian, I don't know who, and Shamar, the coach is gonna take Shamar because I think he probably saw some good things where Shamar did battle hard for those 50-50 balls against Mexico up in the front. But
and he was playing on the left as well. Shamar was playing on the left against Mexico. So
we have Shamar and Mikel. Who are the other two strikers you guys taking?
To be honest, all right. I think Jamaica have a real striker problem.
Okay.
I was watching a show yesterday. I think it was Money's Man show where we were looking at some players who were going to the CAC games, and there was an 18-man squad, and we could not find a centre forward. There was just no centre forward available. I mean, at the age to go to the CAC games, and that was something that was quite alarming to me. I never really looked at it like that until yesterday. I think we were even talking about Jamari Clark, but then they were saying he was injured. And there was this player by the name of Zion Scarlett.
Zion Scarlett from the U20s?
No, man. What I'm saying we were talking about the CAC games.
Okay.
Yes, I'm saying they had an 18-man squad up, and we couldn't identify a centre forward. So I was saying I never really looked at it that way to say that we may have a problem there in terms of, looking out for players in certain positions. So I was saying that when you look at the senior team now, you have Mikel Antonio, Shamar Nicholson. I mean, Jamal Lowe can operate in that position.
I love how you use the word operates because you're just not 100% sure of him as
What about
a
Johnson Clark Harris though?
as a number 9. No, but I hear that Johnson Clark don't have a passport.
passport. He doesn't have a
So that's why
passport.
I'm not
Okay,
considering
well,
him.
I'm not certain about that still until I'm not certain about that because I've been hearing the rumors all the time. We're not turn out to be so. According to the rumors, Demar Gray is supposed to be kitted up in the Jamaica uniform from us in January or February. And we're still in a main. We in a main now. I'm gonna see that at me. So me not really work off of the rumors. Me know that sometimes you have people who have some different some alternate intentions and they're usually not the best for Jamaica. So I am just basically playing it by ear as it relates to the passport something because
Yes,
passport not that it. You see,
yes,
pre passport not that it. So when I'm gonna I take 17 months to get a passport, bro, one is a passport for that Mars go. I can't want Jamaican passport.
yes.
So
So that's why I say me not really the players them when me sure can represent Jamaica.
yeah.
We kind of look at them, but the one them I'm not sure about and
All
somebody
right,
say passport.
you mature something in mature a player in the pattern and as a you know that Cephas is playing as a striker at his team, right? What about Cephas as a striker, as a third or a fourth choice striker? As me, the rather call Cephas more than any of them JPL player there.
The problem with calling Cephas now is that's why I talk about the scheduling as well again, Guna, that I don't think the coach would have had the chance to look at Cephas before now, and the team that's gonna get called up is gonna be potentially the Gold Cup team. So is he gonna call
No,
up
that's
a
what
strike?
we're thinking. That's what we're thinking. That's a logical thing. But you see, you can't really bank on that. You know, you have to kind of just look because sometimes you are thinking the logical thing and the people them in charge not really thinking logical. I think this coach though is playing more along the logical lines than previous people. But you never know. You know, coaches surprise us all the time. So in my view though, I think Cephas his name should be in the conversation as it relates to a striker. He brings something different from Shamar and Antonio. You know, he brings just blistering pace, and he might be playing in a lower league, but as I said, he brings blistering pace to our attack, which to our forward, the number 9 position, which I don't think we have any forwards with that quality. So he brings something different. But we have to see the practice games and see if the coach will call him up and if he performs well in those, at least make a good account of himself. But the point I'm trying to make is that he should be in the conversation above any Chivantes Stewart or Andy Snow who is playing in the local leagues. He should be in the conversation above those because he's playing as a striker, even though when he was in Jamaica was playing as a winger.
I think Corey Burke is gonna get that nod over Cephas. I think
Yeah, Corey Burke on the United side, even though Corey Burke, Corey Burke is made in China version of a Shaman Nicholson. You know, he's Shaman Nicholson beat it. So he offers the same thing: his height, power. He does pressure the defenders them. The other day when he came on, actually he played well too. He came on and he did well. He caused a lot of problems. But the problem I have with Corey Burke is that he doesn't score enough goals for Jamaica. That's my problem. If you look historically, we do not score a lot of goals. That is just it. The last time Jamaica get a side a 6 lower, a 7 lower, a 9 or something like that, maybe a 5,000 years ago. But you know what I mean? We do not score. Historically, we do not score a lot of goals.
We did score against Mexico, the 2 goals against Mexico. So that was good for starters.
Yeah, man. So as I said, he did well. He did well when he played. So the last time he played, and you have to give him credit for that. But I like Corburg in that sense. When we do not have, if we do not have a Michael Antonio available, 100% Corburg is in my squad. But as I said, I just don't think he scores enough goals. But I like what he offers in terms of it make defenders uncomfortable. You know.
True.
So.
True.
Yeah, I think he will get the third striking spot, but we still have maybe, you know, potentially we have a fourth spot available, and who will occupy that spot is a question that we may have to, you know, we have to challenge ourselves and try and find out. But it's a difficulty. But if anybody is going to take that spot, I will have a player who is playing his trade in a professional league above every JPL player. You know what I mean? No matter how much goal they must score, more professional players who are playing in a professional league and who can understand systems quick and fast, that they can come in 3, 4, 5 days before and understand the system that the coach wants to employ. You know what I mean?
Because that's where international football is. Like, coaches are only getting a few days to assemble a team. So I tell people the international game is not where you're gonna come to get development, my brother. If you're not developed at your club, it's your supper. Like the team football is not built like that anymore, where coaches have a million years to develop you and watch you progress. They leave the progression and your evolution to the clubs. If you're not developing at your clubs, you can't expect to make the team. Let me take a few comments. XYZ Thompson says a true player should be able to play more than one position. Mr. United say if you take 4 striker, how many wingers? It's 23-man squad. Upcoming says so comes we can't find one striker local to go to the CAC game. I said that like a week ago, you know. I brought this to the attention of the fans. I said, if you look at Jamaica team right now, because I keep going back to this, where I was on the train with this youth from Denmark who's playing football, and he's telling me that in Europe, not just in Denmark, they're having a problem finding out and out number 9s. And in Denmark now, they're planning to implement a program in the grassroots level to develop number 9s. Like and if you look in the game, Brian and Guna, there's not a lot of out and out number 9s anymore. You know, where you can just grab a number 9 and just say, this is a number 9. It's these kind of like makeshift number 9s. So it's not just Jamaica alone that's affected by this issue, where you have that out and out striker there. But for the Qatar game, Brian, you were stating that you don't see Jamaica beating Qatar. How can you come to that conclusion after such a performance against Mexico? And Qatar was abysmal in the last World Cup.
Yeah, but I mean, what I'm saying that, you know, is because I'm not looking at Mexico in terms of to say how we played against Mexico, because there are days when we play well against Mexico, and then there are days when we play poorly against lesser opponents too. So when I say I don't see us beating them, I don't think it is as straightforward as you're making it out to be. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we beat them, but I'm not openly saying, yo, we're going to go down to Qatar, go turn them over, because I don't think
the game's gonna be in Europe, so it's not a home game for either team.
Yeah, man, I know, man, it's gonna be in Austria, but I'm saying, I don't think it's as straightforward as you're making it out to be. But
Qatar get booping on them head, my brother. I tell you, Qatar get booping on them head side. Qatar don't travel. Middle East teams do not travel well. When them go outside of them place, them not look good. And the World Cup was played in Qatar, and them still look like a rock side.
Yeah, so and them yard.
And them yard, the match playing, and them backyard. The man them train for must 2 years straight. Them pass them league because they wanted to give a good account of themselves, and them come a World Cup come look like garbage. So
yeah, but Buna, Qatar played again when Qatar was there with arguably 31 of the other best teams in the world, you know, brother. Jamaica never even make it. No one in a 31.
Yeah, we don't make it, but Qatar and go this up. Qatar played good in the Asian Cup, you know. They played good in the Asian Cup, because I watched a couple of matches with them and they played good. They're a ball playing team, you know, so they may play ball, you know. But you see, what we use in Mexico is physicality. And they are not going to be able to cope with the physicality of Jamaica.
That's where me come to my conclusion.
Yeah, man. Shama and the man that run over the man, the head, man. The only thing them can do for man.
All me I say is, me nah,
I'm gonna bring some of the deserts and flavor about them. Yeah. That's the only way that's the only way they're supposed to beat Jamaica. And then I lift up the sun from the Qatar and bring it to Austria, brother. But under normal circumstances, then they're supposed to be Jamaica supposed to be in a match a nice 3-1-4-1 easily, based on the farm that let's say for instance, Michael Antonio coming after, and them man, if them man they get called up and them man is supposed to kick a chick past Qatar, man. Which defender on Qatar side can stop a Michael Antonio? That man is like a bulldozer, brother.
I see, brother. You might want to get one of them. I do on you.
You can't put them paper target in front of one bulldozer, my brother.
No, Brian, me know say you want to give me know say you think Qatar are gonna give a good account of themselves. People, we have 107 people on the live and we only have 40 likes on the video.
Qatar in the last Gold Cup?
They were looking very disheveled out there, as my English teacher would say.
In the last Gold Cup?
Well, no, the last Gold Cup they did perform. I thought you meant the World Cup. The last Gold Cup, I think.
No man, the last Gold Cup then go on good, man.
Yeah, they go on good, but I think.
Yeah, man, knock some leather, man.
I think a lot of it was due to the teams weren't familiar with their playing style.
Yeah, them knock some ball. But look, we have to look at Jamaica. What do Jamaica win most of our matches through? Is it because we're a ball playing side? Or because we have great tactics, or what? We win most of our matches based on individual ability. You know? Jamaica just have very good individual players. We don't usually, in my opinion, Costa Rica went to the World Cup. I don't think Costa Rica has a better set of players than Jamaica do.
Yeah, they're a better team.
They're a better team because they play together as a team better. But but that's our problem. I don't think Jamaica plays well, and I think that's what the coach is trying to get. A playing style that everybody is accustomed to and everybody knows their job, and then we'll go out on the field and execute. I think that's what the coach is trying to get, organizing those individual talents into a unit. But I don't think we're there as yet. I hope that we can be there for the Gold Cup, or at least during the Gold Cup journey, we can develop that playing style where the players are more familiar with each other in a specific tournament and they can grow, which is usually how we do it. We usually go into we're good at tournaments. You know? Jamaica is good at tournaments. So we usually go deep into tournaments at any rate. So I'm hoping that that's what the coach will do. But we usually beat teams based on individuality. We usually beat teams because we have good individual players. So I don't think they are better individuals than we do. And I don't think they will be able. I think three things are going against Qatar. The physicality that Jamaica will undoubtedly apply. The fact that they are traveling outside of their place. And the fact that we have better individuals. So I think they have three things going against them. If they beat Jamaica, I think it will be a surprise.
Yeah, Brian, well, somebody in the comment section say Jamaica gonna beat Trinidad. Listen, King Amir, Jamaica didn't play against Trinidad. It was some Jamaican citizens who played against Trinidad. It wasn't the actual team. It were football players who were citizens of Jamaica who played against Trinidad. It wasn't the actual team, my brother. It was a pickup team. Sorry about that, Brian. I know you want to give Qatar their flowers, that even though the garden blossom, but no say you want to give them flowers. So let me make you go ahead. Where I say?
Yeah, all me I say, I'm saying I don't think the game is gonna be as straightforward as you and Bruno is making it out to be. That's all.
Flowers can't grow in a sun, in a brother. Be a sun, the man that go walking. The man walking a bag of sun come dash in a ball of them here, my brother. Them man are supposed to be Jamaica, no dear brother. I tell you that. Them can play ball, them knock it, Them knock the ball around.
Yeah,
and,
they do that.
But remember how Jamaica plays is Jamaica, we usually go counter-attacking. Right? And then we use our individual ability and pace. But pace and power, that's basically how we play. The only time I've ever seen Jamaica like put down the ball and knock it around was under the coach now again wearing glasses, Schaefer. When Schaefer was coaching the national team, that's the best Jamaica has ever played football, in my opinion. Better than even the World Cup qualifying team in terms of how we played ball. I mean, putting the ball, knock the ball around, everybody working for each other, they were forming triangles, it just looked nice. on the
Yeah,
eyes. You know, you were wondering if it was Jamaica I was watching. So
it was beautiful, man.
I haven't seen that back. I've only seen the woof in which we pick up the ball and woof the ball forward, and then basically surrender the ball to the opponents, and then them come at you in floods, and then once them come at you in floods, then we try break the lines and counter them. That is basically how I see Jamaica been playing for the last maybe 5-6 years. I see Paul I'll come in, I'm a try look a thing where I try put on the ball and knock on the ball at them. I'm here the coach what they are down I'm up here tell them to stop kicking the ball. So I think the coach is trying to say, yo, you want to play some ball this time around, put on the ball, knock it around, whatever. But we can play it long, I don't have a problem with playing it long if that works. But we need to be making long passes as opposed to out of my life. And I don't think I've seen the Qatar. I've seen a lot of the Qatar games because it was one of those teams that people are curious about.
Yeah.
So you want to go watch and see what is Alaba Louise all about. So I went to and watch a lot of their matches, and same like Iceland, watch a lot of Iceland matches to see what our coach is gonna, what kind of technique the coach is gonna bring to us. And I think it's organization. I think if he's successful at organizing our players, I think we'll be very formidable in the future. I think if he succeeds in gelling these players together and having players calling the best players for the positions and having these players playing a few matches together and assisting that, let's say for instance we're calling a local squad and a local set of players come in, they know exactly what the job is, and then all we have to do is swap out the local players for the more established players in the bigger leagues when let's say a FIFA date comes around. So everybody knows their job. It's just that we're gonna have a drop off in quality if we're losing a local squad, but the team will play the same.
Yes, I believe so. People, we have 100 people on the stream and we have 40 likes on the video. So that means there's 60 persons who is watching don't even bother to hit the like button. Come on, guys. Just hit the like button, yo. Because it's 2 a.m. in the morning here and we're up chopping it up, giving you some football content in the night. Yeah. So just hit the like button. That's all we're asking, man. At least 10 persons hit the like button. Out of them 60 persons there when I hit the like button yet. Well, so the next game, I don't even think the next game is worth discussing. Did Coach Heimer coach Qatar at one point? Or he was coaching in Qatar? Anybody know? Let me know in the comment section. Did Coach Heimer coach down in Qatar, or was he coaching the Qatar team at one point? Because I'm just thinking it just would be so ironic that all these three teams that he previously coached is right around in the 60s here. Qatar 61, Jamaica 63, and Iceland 64. So let me know, people in the comment section, if the coach had coached in Qatar. So I think he probably had something to do with this. So
I don't think him coach Qatar, the country, but I thought he
in
coached
Qatar.
Yeah.
Okay, he coached in Qatar.
And Jordan is the next team.
Yeah, Jordan, like, bro.
Jordan and shoes, brother. The shoes can beat Jamaica side, brother.
Yeah, Jordan. The only time I hear about Jordan is when Israel and Palestine are fight and they need a mediator. I swear to you, I don't hear anything.
I'm sorry to beat Jamaica side. Jamaica to use, and these are going to be good practice games because those Middle East teams they might be slower, but they like to play football. So you have to give it. They like to play, put on the ball, knock the ball around. It looks pretty on the eye. Sometimes it's slow. Same thing with Saudi Arabia. And put on the ball and then knock the ball around. That's a football that they like. They like the quote unquote Brazilian style of football where you the passing game, pass and move kind of vibe. They don't have blistering pace or whatever, but they do like to pass the ball around. And Jamaica typically can put 10 passes together. So that's not our game, I guess. The coach is going to implement that. But currently speaking, and based on the last maybe 5, 6, 7 years, we haven't been able to put on the ball and be a ball playing team. But these teams are a ball playing team. But we will beat them same way still.
Yes, I think so. So people, we did an hour and 10 minutes. It's one of those shows tonight. It's Saturday night. I know a lot of you probably gonna have to hit the club tonight, or probably gonna have a couple stage show if you chop up in the night, or touch through a couple party. Brian.
Tomorrow, man. Tomorrow. Today I just rest up there, you know what I mean? Yeah. Tomorrow
people party on Sunday night?
People party every night, my brother. Summer now, Tomorrow the biggest night in Jamaica, bro.
Okay.
The beach at
When I
tomorrow, no, bro. The beach
when I
at water party, a key
Tomorrow
from
is Mother's Day, bro.
in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Well, I'm
man.
never gonna tell my mother Mother's Day. Kind of Mother's Day over here tomorrow, no, bro. Cause me see something they put up Mother's Day. I say ratted. My mother I go call my mother tomorrow. Yeah, because the Mother's Day here so different. And Mother's Day in England is also me notice it some. Cause I know
Yeah,
Mother's
Mother's Day
Day in
in England
England
is
tomorrow.
different. Yeah, because Mother's Day in England is different.
Yeah. Okay.
So
So yeah,
like,
man.
yeah, because like my wife's mom live in England, so I have to tell her Mother's Day twice a year.
You tell her, you know,
So
easy, no,
Mother's Day
brother.
in Jamaica, I go find out what Mother's Day in England and tell her to.
Tell her mother. So big up all the mothers, them, especially the Jamaican mothers. If you're watching this show, we know how to do it. We know how to fight for the youth, them. And when them turn out to be so mad, or go hard for them. So all the Jamaican mothers out there, we give up all the dinner money if you send all a cruff go to school more time. We have so much respect for it. You see what I mean? So big up all the Jamaican mothers who have done their jobs and raise up some individuals who can give back to Jamaica. I hope at some point, okay, one of my goal is to actually have my own academy in Manchester, in Mandeville. If we actually have one of them turf surface there. But I would want to have an indoor facility, however, do a Guna in Jamaica. An indoor because when the companies, I talked to somebody who build the indoor from a company here, like from this Yensa company, and those domes that they build here is not expensive, bro. Those domes are not even a half a million euro. It's about 350,000 euros if you look at it. I know that's a lot of money, but you know what I mean? Like media things them think they are millions of dollars. To have one of those in Jamaica with one of those indoor surfaces where you could also have your own academy and get youths them to play a different style of football because any academy we are running on no kick and run no night. But I see a man get kick and run
I,
detention.
I think that is the future, and I think once we have
Yo,
academies
JT,
here developing players' technical
Chester,
abilities,
you
I think
forward
that is
from?
what
Huh?
we're gonna transition.
Chester, you forward from?
Yeah, yeah. So we
So
want to do
what you
that,
want
man.
to go? You know, have football in Manchester, man.
No, that's what I said, bro. We want, but if I'm running football in Manchester, I'm not just looking at Manchester. We're going to because I can't. And bro, some of the best footballers that I've seen in Jamaica is played for Stets. I seen players at Stets where I thought like, whoa, all them players here can't make it past Stets, brother. You see me Stets go down to Monroe, them school them. I tell them, I see some new Russies. I see some players play the Cup from Russies, Monroe and Stets, and them players they just vanish. But as it goes back to show, those players are only playing football for 4 months out of the year, and them just look so good, and then let them just go back to the streets. So I don't know. Manchester don't have a good program. They try a thing down in Mile Gully. I don't know if you know the coach that used to coach at Homewood, Coach Barry Watson. He was a pretty good head coach. He also coached at Manchester High School. He helped to turn around the program at Manchester High School and then gave it to his understudy, where Manchester High School has been competing very well in the DeCosta Cup ever since. Barry
Remember, me know
Watson.
Barry Watson, man. Isn't he the current president for the FA?
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. He was my under 16 coach at Homewood Technical.
Yeah,
At,
man. He's the president, man. Because when the former JFF Gensec was the president for the FA, and
mm,
he went to the JFF as a Gensec. So I think Barry Watson was the one who was the president. I know Barry Watson involved in cricket too. I think.
okay. It's somebody said, yeah. Barry Watts is always pushing. His daughter was also my she was my farm teacher as well. Eagle Republic said JT is not the cost of the indoor structure that's going to kill you. The cost of the light bill. No, we have that sort out already. We're going green, my friend. We're going solar. Jamaica has listen, we anything them come listen. Them have a thing in my uncle always tell me that thing at Eagle Republic. Him say a wise man see an opportunity in every problem, but a fool see a problem in every opportunity. You see me? So I always a run with that thing there. Anything them challenge they come, me I think, oh, how as Jamaicans we don't think about things differently. So me I go think about it different. Jamaica, brother, when the sun a beat, don't at that. I just energy a waste, bro. Over here, people are try catch sunlight to store the energy and sell it back to the electric company and get like get them bill cut down because whatever energy you have left over, if you have solar energy here, the electric company pay you for that energy back. And Jamaica, I know that solar energy is quite expensive, but that would be something you would invest in if you're gonna run a football dome or something like that. And we would want a football dome as well that the pitch can be removed where other events can be held inside of that place. Cause bro, that's another thing that I see that when they build that multi-purpose stadium in Trelawney, that's the big mistake they made. The man then build a cricket field, brother, and just say it's a cricket field and it's a stadium. You don't do that in the modern era. Here, so brother, you will go watch a football game at a stadium, and in the night, them transform it into a boxing ring. This a go on. The next night, it transforms.
But even they used to do that at the multi-purpose stadium, doing because. But I think one of the things for that was, I think at that time when the stadium was being built, it was just a cricket because that stadium was built because of the World Cup,
World Cup for the
So
cricket.
I think back in them time they were just building the stadium
For
with just
cricket.
a narrow-minded vision to say this whatever, and maybe they thought in years to come you would have had a lot more cricket being played in Jamaica, which if you ask, I think since the World Cup has ended, you haven't had a lot of cricket being played in Jamaica, because even now you have a CPL franchise, Jamaica Tallowers, and they aren't playing their games here in Jamaica. So I guess, and I mean, I think because now they use Sabina Park to play football, because that's where the JPL going to play the playoff round.
That was so confusing to me, Brian, because Sabina Park was historically a cricket venue, right?
Yeah, but the thing is though, I think COVID football used to play there before that, because even before the JPL came about, even before the JPL came to this structure, they used to play like Flow Super Cup over there and then stuff there and get a lot of crowd. But I think last season when the JPL played the quarterfinals there, that's the most people I've ever seen in Sabina Park since maybe when Brian Lara used to play cricket. And that's been a minute now, you get me? Because over there was just packed. So I don't know. I think to be honest, bro, I think we blame the football federations and maybe even the other sporting federations. But you see a lot of those countries in Europe, the government as I guess their contribution to the sport or the sporting fraternity, they help to develop a lot of facilities, because when you have sporting facilities where you can host events, bro, it don't just benefit the athletes, because remember, you're gonna have people you're gonna need for work there. They're gonna have staff, employ people, tourism are gonna build, because let's just imagine we in Jamaica could have a world-class facility not even a world-class, but a top-class facility in like 3 parishes on the North Coast, St. Anne, Trelawney, and maybe Mobile. And in the summer, in the winter, 2 countries that come to Jamaica for winter camp. Colleges come out here for winter camps, and then can stay in our hotels, and we can host events and them stuff there, bro. But I don't think as a country we reach a level there. I just think the sporting fraternities are all on them own, brother. Football upon them own, netball upon them own, basketball, cricket.
Let me tell you a funny story, Brian. The man who owned G Jam studio in Port Antonio, That's where the song Brown Skin Girl was written from Beyonce. Sam Smith, I think Honesty. One of them song they by Sam Smith.
But G Jam is a famous what you call it? Like hotels, hotel.
Yeah, but look at his concept. I was gonna touch on his concept. When the man himself, remember say the man a Branson, you know, we have Virgin Airline, you know, the man we are trying to do them himself that record label to him. I think that might be coming to Virgin Records, maybe. I don't know if a Branson, but himself that record label moved to Jamaica, build up that little hotel in Port Antonio. Then the man I realized, the man I say, yo, people want come for this. Him realize him not have more rooms. The man build it where him have the man, I think him can set up at least 10 or 12 or more studios inside of those places. But he says when people come to Jamaica, him can just host them. You see, because I used to, brother, people from Europe make me know all Port Antonio, you know, when me live at Jamaica, you know, when me start go NCU and all these exchange students from Australia and them places. The people say, we are going to Port Antonio this weekend. Bro, me end up all at Boston Bay, Great Huts. Me see people are surf and them thing there, bro. We not left Mandeville. Because I don't know, you probably don't even spend a lot of time in Port Antonio, Brian.
No, I have, but I've been to Portland and a whole. It's a really nice parish, a beautiful parish. So I've been to Portland on many occasions. But like me say, I don't think as a country we reach a level where we look at the sporting fraternity as like a holistic thing, you know? I just think them just leave them on them own, bro. The government not have a lot of input in it. I mean, I say input in this terms where them going to dictate what happening, but just in terms of the whole infrastructure development and stuff, bro, we never.
Even Kirkvine, Brian. Kirkvine should have been transformed. Like Kirkvine is a waste of a proper surface, because the surface in Kirkvine is almost perfect. The grass is always well kept, because at one point I was living down there in Williamsfield, like right around the corner from Kirkvine, and you go on the Texaco and then you go up the hill there. So, but a lot of those people tend to a lot of family they move back from England and things, but a lot of people were getting sick down there in Williamsfield based on there's this smudge that come off of the red earth in the morning. Bro, when you're driving down in Williamsfield at early morning, you have to have on your fog lamp them like down there. So I don't know if that's one of the reasons why they never just turn Kirkvine into a stadium. Because they have the field and it's big enough. Just transform the place into one field and build. And look at Kirkvine, looking towards the left-hand side is a lot more land, because I think that land was handed over to them by Alpart, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just
bro, as me say, bro, I think the truth is, I don't think we view sports in Jamaica as the multi-million business that it is. I think because even the schools, bro, when kids go and say they want to be a professional athlete, them just look at them like, yeah, and I eat that, you know what I mean? So, but Guna, like I think Guna sound like him watch MLS. What's going on with Ravel Morrison and DC? Is it that because he been there, so it's a situation where I'm just going to stay there till him contract run out like Ozil? Because
it's a salary thing, man. So those MLS teams can only have a certain number of international players with a certain
what they call designated players.
But he's not a designated player.
He is.
No man, he is a GAW player or something like that. Not GAW. Hold on, let me look for it and tell you.
What's a GAW?
Let me tell you.
Yeah, that's a new one, because I thought that's what he felt under
that. They allowed to be paid a little bit more than cap. That is the normal thing in MLS, isn't that so?
Yeah, but he's not a designated player. I'm telling you.
Okay. I'm not fight upon it, man. I'm not run a dunk on that one. I'm not sure.
But yeah. I thought I was mistaken.
May I tell you what them classify him as?
And for the person in the comments said if them still play cricket in Jamaica, Eagle Republic, Jamaica has one of the best young cricketer right now in the world. His name is Kirk Mackenzie. Him just slapped 2 bills the other day. Just got called up for the West Indies A team. So go check out that youth there. Kirk Mackenzie is the next big thing out of Jamaica. My brethren, well, Marlon Samuels, since Marlon and Chris Gale them left, it's been, and as you know, Franklin Rose went to my school. He actually bought the bus for Homewood Technical. So Franklin Rose was one of the most feared cricketers in in Jamaica at one point. But yeah.
He is a, what you call it? A TAM player.
Okay.
TAM. Them say TAM mean targeted target allocation money. That's what they used to bring him in.
Okay, so you can see why the money is a problem now.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but what me I say
because
is,
money's been, so that sounds like money has been allocated to bring the player in. It's targeted.
Yeah, but we're coming up to the transfer, so it doesn't. So maybe he will either go out on loan or something if they don't want to release him officially.
But I think DC United is supposed to have a feeder club in like USA. Me don't know, brother.
But you can't go send Ravel Morrissey down to USL and feed a club, brother. What you talking about now, Brian, man?
So you're going to have him there paying him to not play?
No, but he's going to play. He's going to play, man. Ravel's going to be okay. No, but this season is over. Ravel is just waiting for the next go around. And this Gold Cup, Ravel will be back. This is Ravel, you know, bro. This is always has happened to Ravel. Ravel came to Sweden. I remember I was living in Sweden at the time. I think Ravel must have spent 2 weeks there. You know what I mean? Like, just Ravel, then him go rest for your next couple of months. Him end up at Netherlands, at Den Haag, or one of them club there. And him play for a couple months, and then him rest out. Then him end up at Sheffield for a little bit. That's just the life of Ravel Morrissey, bro. You know,
yeah, he's now Ravel is now classified as a journeyman footballer. You'll be a 1 season, 1.5 season, half a season.
Guna backpacker. Ravel is a backpacker, man. He's a backpacker.
Yeah, the man in unpacking clothes all the time suitcase, man. I'm gonna keep it moving, bro. So
yeah,
I love swim style.
It's the last player I'm hearing them call a journeyman. Brother used to play for America. Play for about 100 club. Center forward. Still playing now, you know. A Freddie Adu.
Freddie Adu,
Freddie Adu, yeah.
He's the biggest disappointment.
The biggest hype.
Journeyman, you know.
Yeah, man, they got play all the Brazil in there. He used to play Brazil for Bahia or something, you know. So, the player, man. Man, I'm gonna say him look like Pele, man, so bring him to Brazil, man.
Yeah, Ravel used to play at Mexico, you know.
Yeah, he played in Mexico. Ravel played
and
anywhere.
He played Alan to say, what the team name?
Den Haag or something. That's what I tell you. That's when he left.
Green and white. I think it's a green and white side. He played for green and white.
Green and yellow.
Yeah. We are a stripe. Looking.
Yeah. He just left Sweden.
All the players leave Ravel going to probably Asia. I mean, probably not got Asia yet.
And him so somebody said.
Africa.
Ravel can go to China, man. Go no China. Go which other league at right now? It's Middle East. Go in the Middle East, man.
We'll probably end up at Qatar soon after
Qatar,
that.
man. Go to Qatar, go knock it, man. And make some money.
I'm gonna see him after the friendlies and carry him down there.
Yeah, man. And plus, my world reputation. Manchester United training and all that or something. So Jamaica International and all that or something.
Sligoville. I don't know where Sligoville is, my brethren, but yeah, I know. It's an evil like Kirk. Yeah, you're talking about Kirk Vine.
Sligoville.
What that there?
No, man. I know where I'm talking. I'm Sligoville place. Are you a ton, man? What name? What the boxer place name again, man?
GC Pasta.
A Clarendon that.
A GC Pasta attack?
No, man. I know Eagle Republic attack, man. You a ton, man. It's the next boxer place that in a man.
Man, them that dig down the whole like country, brother.
I'm not all part.
The man them just dig down the country and give you a feel. So people, cause if what may I say is also Brian, Jamaica. When you look at the Windalco, my man they say ourselves
Windalco.
Yeah, because and the backside man them just come at Jamaica. You did have the Canadian them, the Russian. Remember When I time all the Russian them run off down at Alcan. And if you look even upon Jamaica, why the real we never have a railway system? Like, bro, that would have cut down the cost. Some when me there at Jamaica, when me notice eat up a lot of the money, brother, is travel expense and light bill and school
Bro,
fee.
or if I
Light
have
bill,
train, or if
school
I have
fee.
train in Jamaica and you have scrap metal business.
No,
You want
yeah,
to train them, you want to drive a lot like that.
no, but all you see man a thief scrap metal, you never see them lift up them train line there yet.
A joke, you know.
me never see
I
a man
don't
with a
stop
piece
them
of
and them
train line
dismantle, brother.
yet.
You remember
Yeah?
what you remember when the people them used to block road with fridge on them something there? You can't find a fridge to block the road yet. And the old car. Every old car dismantle, my bro.
Yeah, me know say scrap metal thing did get
Yeah, them go hard,
level.
man. So them did mash up the train thing, cause man them lift out, man them when everybody there the other state, man them lift out the
Yo,
train line. So the train them without drive on dry land, bro.
JT,
Yeah.
you talk about train line, bro. Communities in Jamaica, you know, lose internet in the brother, because them teeth the fiber cable, you know.
Yeah. But think
Come
of
say, an entire community don't have no internet, man, them teeth the cable wire. Yeah.
but hear what? Let me tell you. You see, if Jamaica set up the chain line them and them bullet chain them, see them have a run in Europe, by the time a man go to that, we go cut off sitting, one chain slap him off of the track. Cause them chain they fly fast. You not have time via run cross, brother. Has some things the people them have and some sign we I tell you say if you hold your picking when train and pass. So man a time for you cut off train and them because it have to take a while for cut one of them track there because them steel they unknown normal steel. But yeah, what the train lines in Jamaica were used to transport backside. It wasn't actually created to transport Jamaicans. So me see them try if you me see the prime minister go up on one old train and the Chinese them spray up. I mean I say, what kind of joke thing this, bro? You need bullet train. A train for you fly around the whole island of Jamaica, brother. From Kingston to Montego Bay, a train not take more than 30 minutes. Not take more than 30 minutes. You have people in a bus and a van and a taxi man just beat up him white room and him head out a door. You just see him end up in the observer. 13 people head chop off. Yeah, we need to organize it. But what I'm saying about the indoor facility, bro, I don't understand how Jamaica don't have a 200-meter indoor facility because Jamaica does compete in the 200 in the 200-meter track there, but we don't have them facility there, Jamaica, bro. We don't
All right,
have them
bless up,
facility.
JT.
Yes,
Bless
so I
up,
don't
JT.
understand why we never thought about that. 1 second there,
Um,
Shavan. When we had the fastest man in the world and the fastest woman in the world, I think Jamaica missed the opportunity to negotiate having a leg of the Diamonds League pass through Jamaica. We have the Diamond League, I go down a Bahrain, Qatar, and then people they can't even run. Bro, that's when the sports minister should have stick up them track people and say, listen, no Jamaican athlete is not competing until we get a leg at the Diamonds League, brother. You know, me tell somebody in a sports at Jamaica that, you know, the man say, we don't have the money to buy the camera them for broadcast the thing. I say, brother, the people that come with them one camera, dog. The people that come, I them think the actual person we are working at sports in a Jamaica tell me, you know, bro, like a big person in a sport, you know, say them do have the camera for broadcast, the Diamond League. I say, bro, no, when you have BBC, ESPN, Sky Sports, the whole of them people, they might come with them one camera, brother. When you have the Tour de France leg come to Copenhagen, bro, the people them allocate one whole place a big camera crew. You see, me say you have more camera crew than bicycle. So we have to get out of them small-minded thing there, bro, but we not have the camera them. Brother, I think a camera phone them thing they shoot pan when you see a sweater drop off a one man. And some dear camera them people they use, brother. So go ahead, Siobhan.
yeah, so bless up, Brian. Bless up, Ambuna. I think Brian he made the comment earlier, JT. Jamaica don't invest in a sport. Them don't believe it. 'Cause if you look around Jamaica, you just bring up a good point. You know, when you come down to track and field, the only places that have really developed any track itself and our track and field has been so successful are the schools them, the high school them, and them are build the tracks them. You have the
Yeah.
JC, the KC, the Calabar. And all of them, JC, KC, and Calabar, them are build the track them. So no club now build no track, because the club them themselves are use the stadium facility. Because even UTech themselves, UTech don't have a track,
Yeah, that's even a disgrace, bro. None of
UTech
them.
don't have a track.
This
UTech
is,
still train on the grass and then some time then go up at JC. So it just goes for sure. As much as as much as how successful the track and field has been, people now invest in them thing. Because you make a argument a while ago, and then somebody shoot it down immediately. Say can't happen at Jamaica, the dome.
it can't happen, bro. Anything
I'm
can
saying
happen
thing
at
that can
Jamaica, bro.
happen are just investment,
It can
You
happen,
have to
bro.
spend money in order to make money. Just that people not understand that. People not understand say, look at Arsenal Stadium. Arsenal build the Emirates Stadium how long, and them must suffer for buy players over a couple of years to pay back the stadium. You remember that?
You know, Guna and Shavan, even when Jamaica government make them deals there with the Chinese for build the road, bro, half of them deals there for going to sports. Because sports
No,
are gonna give you a bigger kickback than actually roads. I
but I think
understand, so
that
me understand we
them
need the
those to the
roads.
important. Them those to the importance. I mean I say. You
Yeah,
see
yeah.
them will take pictures, them will do press conference saying that sport is a big thing. But it's when it comes on to them doing what they're supposed to. Because I can't believe at 2023, I will still have big argument about players' documents that take too long to come about.
Yeah,
Bro,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
if
We
we
know if we
live,
make a mess of things.
if it was certain countries and they wanted particular players to play for them, documents would not be an issue. Documents
Yeah.
would not be an issue because if 200 people there in front of them, then 200 people they have to wait. Because
And
guess
you see
what?
Qatar, Shavan, I know I'm saying that Jamaica is gonna beat Qatar, but the amount of money that Qatar is investing in football, and right now Qatar though, however, Qatar get a lot of people in Europe now going to prison in the European Union, where the Qatar bought them out to get these lavish contracts. And when it comes
Yeah,
to the
because even the World
deals,
Cup, yeah,
yeah, yeah, even the World Cup, there's a people in the actual European Parliament and even France. They're saying France is one of them big countries. Because a lot of those big football clubs in France, they're sponsored by some company out of Qatar. You see me? That's
yeah,
even how the French league got so big in a way when
that's
it
how,
comes to TV
and
rights and all that.
I heard that was one of the reasons how it ended up that PSG was bought out by the part by a oil country. It was part of that particular deal as well. You
Yeah, it
help
was a
us get the
man. It
World
was
Cup.
a French president. What do you name? Sarkozy.
Yeah,
Sarkozy. They said the deal that he made was he's gonna get Qatar the World Cup, and Qatar has to invest in France a certain amount of money in France and also in French football. You see me? So the
exactly.
Qataris, they really pump some money in them big clubs. That's why the money can buy Messi and Neymar and Mbappe them on one side. You see me? And a little drop of money if you pay a man. You think a little chop of money for you pay a man 100,000 euros a week? Remember, not even Drake, brother, not even Drake now make that a week, bro. 100 and you play 4 players for your 100,000 a week. Think about
Exactly.
that. That's
So
a
I tell
lot
people
of
say,
money.
yo, we know it's gonna cost money, but it can be done. But when I say for below this big multi-purpose facility immediately, but you can always start from the ground up. Because when you look at it, JD, because JT say you make a very good point. We have done so well in track and field, but yet still
We didn't use the leverage. We didn't use our leverage.
the only track that has been developed. Think about it, JT. We always say the schools are not meant to develop anyone. The school is meant for school purposes. but they are the only ones that are really investing in our athletes. Then think about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, we missed the trick. It's because you see Jamaica now, we have a lot of intelligent fools, especially in politics. Because you see they trick Jamaican people by putting on an actual jacket suit. But a lot
But
of people
all
don't
right,
know
hold
say,
on, hold on, JT. Is it the people them in this jacket suit intelligent, or is that they know that they don't have to do much in order to get persons to vote for them?
no,
What
no,
about
you
that?
see, no, not only that, brother. No, for them, man, you see in politics in Jamaica, especially at the lower level of politics, as some of the dunces, man, them. Because you have to understand, say, to be a politician at the local level is basically what you call hood fame. You see, if a man can come and chew out some potato and put on a cup of soup at and buy out a cup of bar, him can win all councillor at
Yeah,
some place,
But JT, if you think about it, if you could have got one company, JT, and you only work Monday and Tuesday, and you get $1 million, or you get our next company where you have to work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and get $1 million, which other company them you go work with?
Siobhan, we have to go chop this off offline. People, sorry about that. But it look like this is a pattern now, people. Like the shows on Saturday night, it always end a little bit not on football, but it's just economics and a bunch of things because it's a lot of these things is what like it's tied into what's holding Jamaica back in so many ways. I saw the Chinese invested in, I think, putting mostly over 100 football fields in one location where the man them just build bare field side by side. So the Chinese government just say, here what? Nobody has enough to complain about football field again. So we don't have bare football field. Like in Jamaica, bro, we do things 1-1. Every time you see them come cut one ribbon, you're gunfire about the thing again, bro. We just need some people who believe in the youths them and understand again that sports can be our oil. Not Jamaica, obviously, we don't have oil and we don't have gold, but our island with gold is sports, brother. Sports and culture. But they don't see that. Right now, they have a British company down there scanning the ocean floor, doing the sonar scanning, trying to find oil. They have they didn't find anything, so then bring a bigger ship now, a scan deeper under the earth floor, under the sea floor, if you find oil and all this. There's not, bro. If we don't have no oil, the oil of the people may run up and down there with a lot of energy. We don't have nothing to do. That's the oil, brother. But we don't have, bro. We don't have governments, people in government with the I would say no, a mindset that just evolve or just take small ideas or for I think in a lot of ways for Jamaica to get better, we have to become more of a country that believes in research. We have to become that's how Australia became good in cricket when they put psychology into their cricket and realized this is how we can beat the West Indies. This is how we motivate our players and change their psyche to believe. At one point, if you bowl Australia for 20 runs, you now make more than 15 based on all the man them psychological, and that's what they used to implement. I know West Indies is the worst team in the world, and Australia is the top team in the world. So I believe that Jamaica has to become more of a research-based country to solve some of our problems, bro. To see where the youths are failing, see where things are not going right, where we can implement things in sports to get better results. We have to become a bit more good at research. We can't just we're too reactive. The thing of it pop down, then we come in and try fix it, and it's just not working. But yeah, we don't want to go on that again. Bless up everybody who came in tonight. Shavan, Guna. Um, the football, it's gonna be slow now until June. I think no, we don't expect anything crazy, but hopefully there's players who have time to still get their passport. It's only the what? Today is the 14th of June, right? Of May. 14th of May. So they still have about 16 or some more days in this month and plus 50. They actually have a month to get them passport before the first friendly in the 15th. So hopefully some of those players can pull through and get their passport to potentially get a call up. But I'm thinking that something has to be on the horizon why the coach has been so quiet. Some kind of big announcement has to be made. The coach has been very quiet. So I'm looking for some surprises in the next upcoming weeks. I'm looking for the press conference from the coach. I think this press conference from the coach is going to be very important. We should learn a lot from that. Chavan, Guna, bless up on yourself. 2:30 my time, you know how the trap go. Sunday morning tomorrow. No rice and peace tomorrow for me. Bless up everybody. Yo, on a party safe, drive safe, do anything you want to do safe in the Saturday night here. All right? Blessings, everybody. Peace.